Hi guys, this is Cobra Tom, and this week's video is going to be about Destro. This is the Real American Hero Collection Collector's Special Edition. I have the card back here, along with the file card. Now, as you can see, this action figure had come with two figures in it, and I will show you the one that came with him. This is the Fast Blast Viper. This is just a complete repaint of a Heat Viper. I won't be discussing any more about him in this review. It'll get its own review, and all in due time. I just want to focus on Destro for the time being. Now, Destro is a very, very popular character. This is, I don't know if collectors consider this version 3, or if this is just a different kind, because this is from 2001. So it's not from the vintage era, but it's not from the newer movies either. It's kind of that weird in-between time. So, this figure has kind of the styling of the kind of a mixture of the two vintage figures. And what I mean by that is, this figure has a lot of red on it. It's kind of got a big flowing, you know, he's kind of a leader, it looks. Especially like if you can see from the side here, it's not exactly a cape, but it's big and it's billowy and it sticks out, and you notice this guy. He's got the big padded and ridges, and it's a black figure like the old one. And I have the vintage one here to show you. I'll pull these up a little bit so you can see. Both of these are in the kind of the original style with the silver helmet, or the silver masks. I guess helmet's not quite the right word, but silver masks. As you can hopefully be able to see, these both have the black outfits. They both have these high collars. This one's got a necklace. So does this one. But what I mean is, he also kind of is in between with the kind of newer one where he was the leader of the Iron Grenadiers. And I also have the vintage Iron Grenadier one, where you can see they have the capes and the big shoulder pads. So he doesn't have a cape, but he's got the bigger ridges on his shoulder pads. I think a campaign button here or ribbon here. On here, with the Iron Grenadiers, he's got the big shoulder pad, the campaign ribbons. Now this is a cape, and this is more of a big collar. But you can kind of see where they were going for. They have a similar color scheme. He's got an ornate weapon here, so that's different than what this Destro got. But you can also see on the vintage kind of style, the bigger boots. Oh, sorry about that. I bumped the camera again. I'm not very good at this, as you can see. But you can see that he's got the bigger boots, and he's got the big, tall boots. And the cape and stuff, now that's a little bit different, but you can see where they were definitely going. He's got the ridges in the back, like the figures. He's got the straps here, just like the vintage one does. So they are kind of going with the vintage style, black with the necklace and the yellow shirt. What's too bad that's missing is the rockets. I wish they'd have kept the rockets. That would have been cool, but they didn't. And as for like the vintage one, or the Iron Grenadiers one, instead of having the cape, they gave them a big collar. If they were going to go with one or the other, I wish they'd either stuck with a little bit smaller collar that went down, or they would have just gone with a bigger cape. And I think that the one or the other would have been better, because the cape looks cool on the Iron Grenadiers. The collar looks fine if you keep it. Subdued is not the right word, because you don't look at Destro and think that guy is subdued. But you can tell that this is a collar. It's black. It's not as big and flashy as this one. So I do like this figure. I am a huge Destro fan. Destro is one of my favorites. He's a great villain. If you didn't know much about Destro started off in the old days as the original weapons dealer for Cobra Commander. Cobra Commander is the leader of the terrorist organization, and he supplied them weapons and tanks and bombs and stuff. But one of his problems that Destro had is not only did he not always get along with Cobra Commander, but the Baroness always seemed to try to play the two of them together or against each other, and she used her loving relationship with Destro to kind of drive these two apart. So she was always figuratively and sometimes literally in between the two of them, trying to kind of play both sides, and that was a good way of playing the characters. It gave them more depth than just the three of them wanting to rule the world. It also gave the added love relationship that shows more depth for each of them, that they're not just one-dimensional, I want to rule the world and that's it. But after this Cobra Commander was thought to be dead, a new Cobra Commander came, and he took charge of Cobra, and it was, well, it turned out to be kind of disastrous, because when that Cobra Commander took over, it basically started a civil war, which then led to basically there being 3 factions in G.I. Joe instead of 2, because Cobra Commander then went to war with Serpentor. And Cobra Commander was thought to be dead, and so this new Cobra Commander took over, leading them to start to fight. Well, then that's technically when Destro decided to start wearing his Iron Grenadier costume, showing that he was no longer part of Cobra. He was then his own faction with his own army and his own troops. The Iron Grenadier part kind of petered out for some reason. I don't know if I really liked it. I thought it was really cool. I guess either fans didn't like it or it just wasn't working out. I'm not really sure. But anyway, there has been many versions of this same version or it's the same character, but he's gone through many changes. And I actually have the Iron Grenadier one and this one's file card. And I know you can't really see it. I didn't take an account for the height, but I'll read this here. Codename Destro. Enemy weapon supplier. James McCallum Destro the 24th. Primary military specialty, weapons manufacturer. Secondary military specialty, terrorist. Birthplace, Callander, Scotland. Now, that's very similar to the Iron Grenadiers one, where he is the Iron Grenadier leader. The only difference is they don't give him a secondary military specialty of terrorist, and they don't call him Destro the 24th. I think that's, I don't know, that might have just been this version. I think that they did it in the 25th anniversary line of comics. That's not on all the file cards, so it's kind of a hit or miss. But here's the rest. The faceless power behind the largest manufacturer of weapons technology. Not much is known about Destro other than his reputation for anything at a price. Power is the name of the game, and he plays to win. Every time, wherever there is a battle brewing, there is Destro. In fact, he'll incite a battle where one doesn't exist, just to further his cause. Doesn't mind getting into the thick of it himself, if it'll turn a profit. Hard to believe anyone could be that diabolical. Anyone but Destro, that is. The silver battle mask he wears into battle is a family tradition and one he displays with pride. Makes you wonder what those folks talk about at the holiday dinner table. The only thing more apparent than his love for cash is his hatred for G.I. Joe. He respects them for their combat skills and expertise on the battlefield, but finds their methods worthless and wasteful in the pursuit of peace. He's cold, calculating, ruthless, despicable, and those are his better qualities. So they really paint the picture that this guy is nothing but a really low-down, dirty guy who just is only in it for the money and is only in it for himself. It doesn't matter if he's got to fight to get what he wants. He's got to just make a profit, and that's all that matters. And there's nothing wrong with people having a business. There isn't even anything wrong with people having a business to make weapons and sell them to government to help defend the country. It's when you put money above everything that's the problem. So his problem isn't that he makes weapons, it's that he makes weapons only for profit. He'd sell to the Joes if the Joes would give him enough money. So that's what really makes him a bad guy. He's the same way. Cobra Commander isn't any better. He wants to rule the world. But if he can step on Cobra Commander to make a profit, well, then he'll do that too. His loyalties, other than maybe to fairness, means nothing. Well, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. This was one of my more favorites because this is one of my, not necessarily this version, but this character is one of my all-time favorites. I am not alone in that. There are a lot of fans of Destro. I hope I did this justice. I will be probably doing some of the others. I won't be doing the Iron Grenadiers version for a while. I kind of want to wait till I have the other Iron Grenadiers to kind of make it a theme, or make it, kind of do a few of them in a row to kind of show you what they had. But for now, this is the Destro that I'm going to do. I had fun doing it. This was a good one for me because this is one of my favorites. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. If you have a comment, please leave a comment. I really do want to hear from you guys. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next week with a new review.